suspect is accused of firing at one of the victims even after he had fallen to the ground.
23 years old. Just a very frightening time.
That the alleged shooter is only 14 years old.
These very towers carry the whoa-whoa radio signal. On that morning...
Okay, guys, I want to speak on the Orlando situation. Big Dre, Keefy D. You ain't got to really say Troy, he was just a driver. And Tupac death. A lot of speculation went on about who the shooter is. Still people arguing about who the shooter is. And I went back to look at the reports, and everybody know, and the documentaries and stuff like that. A lot of people still think Orlando did it. A lot of people think Big Dre did it. Well, Big Dre may have done it because the reports and the witnesses and Tupac homeboy that got killed later on said it was a fat arm, black arm. Only person that was in that car was Big Dre. Now, what we hearing about Big Dre is that Big Dre is a cold-blooded killer, but when you ask some of his people around there, they won't say that about him. I don't think he liked the clout. But Orlando's his friend. He would kill you for Orlando. I'm tell you like that. Because the police officer said that allegedly Orlando was reckless, y'all. He got into that reckless situation over his uncle and got himself killed. Then a couple of fights he got into when he hit a guy and the clip came out. Hit a guy upside his head, and then the clip came out, and the guys were finna get him. Dre stepped up. They didn't know Dre was a killer. Dre shot the boy dead in the face. Police officer said that, y'all. Said they was investigating Orlando and Big Dre and them on other murders. They said they knew he would. It's crazy that they saying that they know that these guys are killers and they don't do nothing about it. They just don't have enough evidence. But they said that Keefy D tried to say that Big Dre was scared to shoot him. No, Big Dre was not scared to shoot. That was just something they were doing. You gotta understand the street code. Keefy D made them think he was snitching, but he was not snitching. He was telling them that Orlando did it, and everybody in the streets knew Orlando didn't do it. Well, most of the people did, but they wanted some of the people in the streets to kind of know that Orlando did it because they want to leave the credit to Orlando because he got whooped, he got embarrassed, and he don't need that on his name. If he knocked Tupac out, you know what I'm saying, he was gonna get popularity because Big Dre didn't want it. Everybody knew Big Dre, he had the name. But if Orlando, also they can look at it, you can look at it this way. Like, a lot of people say Orlando was at the hospital, he was hurt. There's no way his arm was messed up, he could have did all that shooting like that. He was so messed up after he got beaten. Some said he may not even been in the car. This is what y'all gotta pay attention to. Orlando may not have been in the car because Orlando probably would have got out at the stoplight. He was that type of reckless dude. They said the big arm got out. That sound like Big Dre, because Big Dre don't care about pulling that trigger, y'all. He don't care about it. And soon as them head people, you know what I'm saying, people end up getting killed. They ain't talk about all these people that got shot up and killed, but a lot of them survived. Like people in death row you done mess with is Buntry and Neckbone. They say don't play with Neckbone. As soon as them head some people, y'all. The thing is, I think about this with King Von's situation, I think about with Tupac's situation. Both of them guys will let it fly. Y'all can say Tupac not this and not that, and he not a gangster. Tupac was slang that iron in a minute. He would shoot that gun. He didn't care. If Tupac had a gun on him, he would have shot back. It's crazy that these leaders be telling these guys not to have guns on them. Just like dude said, Puff made him get in the car when he was staring down the killer with his gun. But these owners be telling these guys to get in the car and not do their job. King Von, if a lot of his guys, they had guns on them, but they just didn't have them on them that night or right then. They had him in the car far away. Don't think for a second that them guys with King Von would have let that went down, y'all. If the right guys that was around him had a gun, they all knew they had no weapon, so they had to get back for their safety. I gotta understand, a lot of the guys died. Louis just died. Slutty died. All these guys, BJ almost died over that situation. A lot of them guys almost got killed. So they had to get out the way of the shooting. You don't know where it's coming from. But if they had the right guys had the guns on them, you would have saw how cold O Block was, because they would have killed Lil Tim them that day. And plus, everybody said LeVon didn't have the right shooters with him or whatever. But back to Big Dre and them story. It was a retaliation. The first person that got hit was Bram. and a young female that was 10 years old coming out of the store. I don't think she was with him, but she got hit. Nobody talks about that little girl that got hit that time. I think she left the city and moved to somewhere in a little small country or whatever. I don't know if they came back and gave her some money and tried to keep that down or whatever, because Susan them all had money or whatever, and they heard about what happened. But they were trying to hit Brim. They said they were finna stand over him until he saw the girl still laid beside him. I guess the guy rolled over there beside him. The female too, they fell together or whatever. And that's the only reason he just finished him off. He got back in the car because he didn't want to kill that 10-year-old baby. You can get the death penalty for that. And that's the only way Brim survived. They probably thought he was gonna die from that. So he had to get away from that scene. But Brim, getting locked up now. He later on a drug deal situation or whatever. But yeah, like I said, don't think that Tupac and them didn't have no hitters and all that. It be because of the bosses be telling these guys not to do this and do that, or not to have this on them, and knowing they dealing with street shit. Put them in street shit, then tell them not to have their weapons. I mean, this why I tell y'all, man, don't be listening to people, man. Keep it on you. Don't trust nobody to have your back. They might have your back, but when they go down, when them killers jump out, it's a whole different story. They said Tupac them recognized them people. When they looked at him and they eye to eye, Tupac probably didn't know who the guys was, because if he would have saw Orlando, he would have knew what he had did. I don't even think Orlando was in that car, y'all. Orlando and them, this story is old, but it's steady coming in. Biggie Mama just got buried a couple days ago. And a lot of people think Poochie killed Biggie and Big Dre killed Tupac. End of story.